Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Sauce. It's the backup channel backing Celeb up and bringing you all the breaking news. When Drizzy Drake first heard Ice Spice's song Munch and saw her freestyle on the Radar radio, he seemed to co-sign the Spice Girls' talent because he flew her out to Toronto to attend his OVO Fest in August of 2022. After Drake flew out Ice Spice, it seemed like their relationship was heating up because pictures of the duo started circulating everywhere online. I mean, like for a whole week, you kept on seeing Drake and Icy Spicy, but then something seemed to change, especially when Drake dropped his Her Loss album and appeared to diss Icy Spicy on one of the tracks. And if you listen to the album, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because on the song Back Out Boys, my man was like, quote, "She's a 10 trying to rap, it's good on mute." End quote. And after Drizzy Drake dropped those bars, fans went online and they started speculating. And they was like, yo, I think he's talking about Icy Spicy. And guess what? They might have not been that far off the mark, because a few days later, Icy Spicy went on Twitter and wrote, quote, "At least I'm a 10, shrugging emoji, laughing with tears emoji," end quote. Well, in response to the back and forth, we all know that Drizzy Drake's not about to come out and say anything, because Drake is one of those hit and run dudes. He'll dish you and then he'll turn around and keep it moving like nothing ever happened. However, Icy Spicy does want to clear a few things up. When talking about the whole Drake incident, Icy Spicy said, quote, "We're cool. We spoke after that a couple of times and we're good. There's no beef." End quote. Listen, this is how you can tell that Icy Spicy is not a very strong rapper, because if Drake comes after you with a bar, you're supposed to hit Drake back with a bar. You're not supposed to be doing interviews talking about, yeah, I spoke to him on the phone and we all good. Listen, you can miss me with all of that. And I don't care whether he's a dude and you're a female. If you're a rapper, you're supposed to be able to come at him. I mean, Nicki would have did it. Cardi would have did it. Therefore, Icy Spicy needs to do it. And guess what? You might take the L, but if you call yourself a real rapper, at least you gotta try for the win. Hey yo, on to the next story. Check this out. In 2016, a Michigan-based priest named Gerald Johnson suffered a heart attack. After surviving the traumatic event, Johnson now says that he had a near-death experience that sent him straight to hell. Now, Johnson turned around and he posted a video on TikTok because he says he wants to warn everybody about what hell was like. Johnson says that immediately after the heart attack in February 2016, his spirit left his physical body and he went down to hell, entering through, quote, "the very center of the earth," end quote. Johnson went on to say, quote, "The things I saw there are indescribable. I wouldn't even wish it on my worst enemy. I don't care what he did to me. No one deserves that," end quote. After describing the sheer hell of going to hell, Johnson continued on to say that while he was down there, he saw men walking like dogs and demons holding chains and torturing people. But that wasn't all. Johnson also said that he heard music in hell and that the demons were singing songs which included, get this, Rihanna's Umbrella and Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy. Hey yo, peeps what my man's just said right there. My man said when he got down there to hell, the demons was down there jamming to the R&B 100 greatest hits. I can't. Listen, there's a whole bunch of songs that my dude could have said that the Devil's DJ was down there playing, and I might have believed him. However, Rihanna's Umbrella and Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy? I'm not buying it. Sounds a little sus to me, but that's just my opinion. What do you think? Do you think the Devil's DJ is down there bumping the Rihanna? And if this dude is telling the truth, what song do you think came on next? Hey yo, on to the next story. As you know, these rappers out here love to buy big diamond-studded chains so they could stunt on the next dude who's standing next to him rocking a little 14-karat herringbone. These rappers also like to brag about how much they pay for these chains, which is usually more than you paid for your entire house. For example, all of Slick Rick's chains cost him about $250,000. Kanye West's Horace chain cost him about $300,000. Of course, 2 Chainz got more than 2 Chainz, so his jewelry collection cost an estimated $350,000. T-Pain turned around and he dropped $410,000 on his Big 8 chain, and Sean Kingston bought a box of crayons chain that cost him $500,000. But that doesn't compete with Rick Ross's golden diamond chain that cost him $1.5 million. And none of these dudes is competing with Drizzy Drake, who just spent $2.2 million to buy Pharrell's old jewelry. Well, I just don't know what to say about that. However, you know who does have something to say about that? Minister Louis Farrakhan. Check out what Farrakhan had to say about all these dudes buying these big chains.
See where it says that God set his hand against the wealth of Pharaoh. Because the children of Israel were enamored by the wealth of Pharaoh. Yeah. And you know, he buys you very easily. Well, he prints money every day with no backup. No backup. He just prints. So he can offer you $1 million to carry on foolishness. And look at you. You're rapping. Then when the $1 million goes down, he gives it to you. And then he takes it right back. He said, now listen, you're a new rap star. Did you see the bling bling that your brother have around his neck? See, now if you really want to show them, you know, that you have arrived, go to the jeweler. He's my brother. Oh, he's around the corner there.
That's right.
So you go to his brother, who's in South Africa, taking the diamonds out of the mines in Kimberley and the gold out of the mines in South Africa. But don't worry, you got to have your bling bling. And so you go and he said, let me design it for you. This is brother talking. He says, I want one bigger than Jay-Z's. I want one bigger than who else? Who? Oh, 50 Cent. I want one bigger. How big was theirs? Oh, theirs was $1.5 million. Well, make mine $2 million. So they go in the back room and make up a nice bling bling for the fool. And he walks out, the damn thing so heavy on his neck, he walking like he got pooped. And then your brother that don't have nothing, he comes up with the gun he just bought from his other brother. And he snatch your bling bling, and you call the police, his other brother. Then they find the brother that ripped off your bling bling, and it's gone now. He don't know where it is. And then they take you before the other brother, the judge. And he comes back with the bling bling, say, I got a friend that's a lawyer. He'll get you off. He gonna get it for you. So all the brothers are making money off of your stupidity. Wow. You end up famous and stupid, famous and broke.
Listen, I think that's enough said on that subject. Check it out. In a recent interview with Rock the Bells, Daryl DMC McDaniels from the iconic group Run DMC revealed that Run DMC is done. DMC said him and Rev Run are calling it quits with regard to live performances and said their last ever show will be at New York's Madison Square Garden this spring. DMC also said that Run DMC is dropping a new documentary. During the interview, DMC said, quote, Run DMC is over. The only way Run DMC gets back together is if the Beatles get back together. Can that happen? The final show that we're ever gonna do is gonna be at Madison Square Garden this April. It's gonna be the last episode of the documentary we're doing, Run DMC's last show ever, cause it's time for Run to go be Paul McCartney and me to be John Lennon. We done did what we could do. End quote. DMC also said that for their last performance, Run DMC is going out with a bang because they're going to have guest performances by people like Ice-T and Wu-Tang Clan. Listen, I'm so proud of these dudes because they came in the game and they did their thing. And I mean, they did it with class. And I mean, I'm so glad that we get to give them their flowers while they are still alive. They are definitely hip-hop royalty. Okay, check this out. We got a T.I. and Tiny lawsuit update. A few weeks ago, we told you that T.I. and Tiny Harris were embroiled in a legal battle with MGA Entertainment, aka the LOL Surprise OMG doll company. T.I. and Tiny claimed that they were about to make their own dolls based on their OMG girls group. However, they alleged that this doll company swooped in and stole their idea from right under their noses. Now, the doll company is saying T.I. and Tiny are full of ish. And now, the doll company seems like they want to play dirty. And not just a little dirty, real dirty. Get this, according to reports, quote, attorneys for MGA Entertainment filed a motion on Thursday, January 19th, requesting to enter clips from the Harris family's canceled VH1 reality show, T.I. and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle, as proof of negative personal elements that would have made the company avoid being associated with the family, end quote. In addition to trying to get the clips from the TV show entered into evidence, these dudes also tried to enter into evidence the fact that T.I. tried to do a hymen check on his daughter and a 2016 Instagram video of T.I. smoking weed during a visit to South Africa. And the reason why they want to do this is they're trying to prove that the Harrises are not a moral family. So in a nutshell, the attorneys for the OMG doll company are basically arguing that T.I.'s family is a hot mess and what legitimate brand would want to be associated with his family, especially that young one, King. Now in response to all of these motions that the OMG doll company keeps submitting to the court, T.I. and Tiny's attorneys are arguing the OMG doll company is trying to throw everything into this case, including the kitchen sink. What does T.I. smoking a little weed have to do with the fact that they tried to steal the idea for these dolls? Well, we all know that this case is far from over and T.I. and Tiny have yet to win the war. However, they did win a small victory because the U.S. District Court Judge James V. Selner, who is handling the case, denied the doll company's motion and said that footage from T.I.'s personal life and the show cannot be used as evidence in this case. The judge also said that T.I.'s criminal history can't be used and the fact that he smokes weed can't be used and the fact that he tried to do a hymen check on his daughter can definitely not be used. Oh my goodness, I thought that the Megan Thee Stallion case was crazy and the Young Thug case was crazy, but this case is starting to get crazy too. Hey yo, let me know what you think about this case in the comments. Now check it out, I was getting ready to end this video, but I cannot do that in good conscience without sharing this next piece of news with you. The other day, a family in Indiana were chilling in their apartment when they heard a knock on the door. When their oldest son went to open the door, he looked down and there was a little baby standing there in diapers pointing a gun right at him. He quickly shut the door and they called the cops. When the cops arrived, the cops are like, what happened? They're like, we opened the door and the little baby was standing there with the gun. They're like, we think that the little baby lives upstairs. The cops go upstairs and they knock on the door and the kid's father opens the door and he's standing there half naked with the tighty whities on, and then you look down and there's the little toddler and he's got on the tighty whities too, right? So they asked the father, do you own a gun? Is it possible that your kid was running around the building with a gun? And the father's like, no, I don't own a gun. And the cops are like, thank you, sir, that's all that we needed to know. And the cop turns around, he goes back downstairs and he talks to the family who originally called the cops. He's like, listen, we don't have any proof that there was a little baby running around here pointing a gun. And they're like, listen, we told you that the baby was here pointing a gun. And he's like, listen, your word is not good enough, right? He's like, I tell you what though, if the baby comes back and knocks on your door and points the gun, call us back and maybe we'll come back, right? So he turns around to leave, and just as he's getting ready to leave, another woman comes downstairs from upstairs and she shows the cop the video that she caught with her Ring doorbell. And guess what it showed? It showed that little baby running around the hallway in diapers with a 9mm with the clip in it, waving that gun every which way. Now, after the cops saw that video, they went back upstairs and they searched for the gun. And guess where they found it? Tucked nice and neat in the father's dresser drawer. And my man was like, it's not mine. It must be my brother's. They're like, does your brother live here? He's like, no. Now, what I really want to know is how come when the family with the black son called the cops and was like, a little white baby just showed up at our door with a gun, the cops were like, you know what? We really don't have enough proof. Call us back later if the kid comes back. But had that been the other way around and a little black toddler showed up holding a gun at a white person's door, listen, that'd have been a whole different story. Then the cops would have took that seriously. They'd have had the whole SWAT team out there in Indiana. Hey yo, let me know what you think in the comments. Yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.